Welcome to the show, guys. Unmasking the Blueprint is a unique visual podcast that will begin each show with a blueprint shuffle. Yep, you heard me correctly. We will be shuffling. Grab a pen and a paper because the nuggets will be dropped for you to use and grow. We will interview business owners and music artists, and you'll be able to meet the person behind the brand. Each show will have a giveaway, so stay tuned to win. Welcome to the show, guys. We are so excited that you was able to join us on this amazing Tuesday. Thank you, husband. As usual, y'all know my songwriter husband be coming through for your girl. Let me just drop a few nuggets for y'all. He has a brand new song that he will be releasing in 2 weeks. Woohoo! For Mr. Pence, guys. Y'all know he don't like to toot his own horn, so I toot it for him, baby. Okay. And so, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. For those who tuned in for the 6 o'clock show, I definitely appreciate you. And so now we have a therapist, a licensed therapist who's going to talk with us. And so make sure y'all get y'all pen and y'all paper together, okay? Let's see if Miss Danielle is available.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me this evening. I'm glad to be here.
I am so glad, baby, you so busy. I've been on your page. I am so glad you was able to fit us in. We so appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, I do a lot. So
I know.
I'm starting off with I'm an owner and therapist of LIT Therapy, and we help couples and individuals who are struggling in relationships, and we provide holistic support. So you'll get
Ooh.
some therapy there. We have retreats, we have wellness workshops. I have someone who does mindful body movements for couples so we can get in the
Mm.
groove together because it's really important. As a married woman, I understand how it can be challenging to sometimes rekindle a relationship or keep that fire lit. And my intention through LIT is to help other couples continue to navigate some of the hurdles in life and grow together.
Man, she said a mouthful. I hope y'all was listening. I love it. I love it. And that's why I wanted her to tell y'all because she has a plethora of things going on and they
Mhm.
all connect together and they all make us feel whole and feel so great and wonderful. And so she's definitely going to drop her links later because y'all don't want to miss nothing.
Mhm.
Okay, so I know you was a teacher at one time, right?
Yeah, I was. I
And,
was.
and so
So I'll
what
talk to
made,
you.
go
Mhm.
ahead.
I can talk to
Go,
you a little bit about that. So I started off my career in education. I have
okay.
a master's degree in family and consumer sciences. So that track allowed me to work in high schools and I taught babies. So I helped individuals learn how to work in daycares and then I helped individuals learn how to work in restaurants. So I had high school kids during the day playing with babies in the morning and then I was helping them cook in the later in the day at the end of the school day. So I enjoyed my work. It wasn't your teaching to a SOL kind of job. I got to
Mm-hmm.
connect with kids, and I got to leave the school quite a bit because we were out in the community doing work. And I thought that's what I would do until I retired, until life happened, and I transitioned out of education. And a little bit, I can share a little bit about why I made the transition or I can answer another question if you have one.
So it might go to my because I do have a question that I skipped. My very
Mhm,
first question was is because on your profile I had seen that you had said you was a warrior, and so
mhm.
I kind of wanted to know about that word.
Yeah. Warrior is a word that I internalized from my experience. And
Okay.
it's because I'm a survivor, I'm a thriver, and I'm a warrior, and I've
Oh.
been through some things. I have a
Okay.
father who right now continues to struggle with addiction. My
Okay.
mom had me when she was young. I experienced sexual abuse when I was young. So, at all accounts, I should be a statistic. And in some areas, I was. I was a young mother. I was trying to figure life out, and I was struggling trying to figure things out. But the warrior within me wouldn't allow me to fail. And I
Okay.
knew that I would get out of these situations and I would improve and I would thrive along the way. So when I use that word warrior, it's because I've had to fight tooth and nail to get
Yes,
to where I am today.
yes.
And so I don't use it lightly. I understand that I have some wounds because, when you in war, you fighting. It's some wounds that
Woo-hoo!
come along the way.
Baby.
Yeah, but I got some strength for you too. And I have some wisdom from the
Mm.
experiences that I've had. So that's why I use that title warrior.
I love that. I love that because I needed to know. We needed to know. Okay. So when did you decide or what made you decide to transition from school into to being a therapist?
Okay. So back then, so we talking over 10 years ago, when I was a high school teacher, I had a little girl who is now a grown-up girl. Okay. She's a grown
Okay.
woman now, but at the time she was my little girl. And everybody used to rant and rave about how nice, kind, pleasant. She's just like the perfect kid. So Danielle, what are you doing to just raise this perfect little girl? She's so mannerable. And quite honestly, she was my test baby. And people hate when you say that, but really, when you had your first child, you don't know what you're doing. You learn it from the first one, right? Now we got a
Right.
bunch of kids and I'm better as I've evolved. But she
Right.
was my first child and I didn't know what I was doing, to be frank and honest. So her being a good kid was truly just who she was at that moment in time.
Right.
Well, she started having some struggles. My words ain't coming out. Some struggles. And I noticed that there was a shift and it was like a light bulb
Mm.
went off. And when the light bulb went off, it was slow, but it was significant and I didn't know. And at that time, I didn't have mental health experience. I just knew that my baby was hurting and I
Mm-hmm.
needed to help my baby. And so
Right.
I started to do anything that I could to support my daughter. And for me, it looked like I need to understand this thing that's happening, these mental health challenges that she's struggling with. And so I started focusing my energy in mental health. And I
Mm.
noticed that I became passionate about helping my family and helping other families, specifically families that look like me, right?
Hmm.
I needed us to know that we could get through this. And so
Right.
as I learned the skills and I gained the resources, I became more passionate about mental health. And I eventually transitioned out the classroom and went full into helping my community and helping families and mothers specifically who look like me get the resources and support they needed so that they could help their own children. And that's how I made that transition out of the classroom. And I'm still a teacher. So I have some certifications to
Yeah.
train things. I train in mental health first aid. I'm a QPR suicide awareness trainer.
Oh,
So I can still teach individuals things. So I get to nurture the teacher in me, but I'm also a therapist and I help couples and families work through this thing we call life.
wow.
Yeah.
That was good. That was
Thank
great.
you.
And so what I hear from you is passion.
Hmm.
I hear like you started off doing what you went to school for, even though you loved it,
Yeah.
and then you turned that into a passion.
Hmm.
I love that. And so, go ahead.
Yeah, and I walk in my passions. Sometimes it's not an easy walk to walk. And you and I were talking prior to this about the gifts. Like God's given me many gifts. Like I'm an author as well, and I wrote a book. And I'm very passionate about lots of different things, and I try to nurture those gifts
Mm.
when it's my time, right? And so I just knew that it was time for me to make this transition and do this work, and this is where I need to be. And so I'm a believer in God, and God guides my steps. And so when he says, Danielle, it's time to do this, then I try to be obedient, because when I'm not, he let me know. Right.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And so I do my best to be obedient to his word. And when he says it's time to do a thing, to really focus my energy and listen and do that thing. Because it's less about me and it's more about him. And he just orders me, my steps, my words, my skills, my abilities, so that I can help other people and be that person to those who need me in their times of need.
I like that. I love that. I love that. You kind of answered it. So,
Mm.
because my next question, I kind of want to know how did that transition shape because of your daughter?
Yeah.
Um, but I guess you answered it. So I guess I go to my next one is, what advice would you give a parent who is experiencing a loved one struggling with mental health challenges?
So my first advice is, and I think is really important because we put a lot of energy on focusing on the person that's struggling. But when
Mm-hmm.
you're a caregiver, you need to take care of yourself. And I speak wholeheartedly from a person who loves my child, right? And I started with the mentality of I must do everything to take care of my daughter. And that meant not take care of me first, take care of her. And by not focusing on the things that Danielle needed to do for Danielle, I wasn't able to help her or anybody else.
Oh,
And it
that's
evolved into me having a heart attack and almost leaving this earth
oh
because I was
wow.
taking care of myself. So, my primary advice would be to anyone who is caregiving to a loved one. That could be your child, that could be your elderly parent, whomever you are taking care of. You need to understand that if you don't take care of yourself, you won't be here to take care of them or anybody else. So, my advice would be first to take care of yourself, lean on your supports. We need a village. And as a society, we've gotten away from that. And we're using these things like technology, right? To feel connected when we are less connected as humans. And we need to be connected to a village so that we can all support each other. And by having more supports, your loved ones' needs can get met, your needs can get met, and we can all help each other to thrive and be successful.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to the caregivers? Like, what type of Let me see how I worded it because I
Mhm.
want to make sure I'm asking the question correctly. Like, what type of practices, self care advice would you give to them?
Sure. So my first thing is the very basic needs have to always be met. We need to be sleeping, right? We need to be eating. And I say this because people forget like the very basic things that you should be doing to taking care of yourself. Hydrating,
Right,
making sure we
right,
drinking our water. We not just eating fast food, junk food. Like we got some fruits, some vegetables, the things to help build our body up, grow our body. And we're focusing on all of our needs. So we're looking at our emotional needs. How can I best support myself emotionally? Does that mean I need to talk to a professional? Does that mean that I need to schedule more time with my girlfriend so we can just chop it up and talk about like these kids stressing me out, right? What does that look like for you to help support your emotional needs? Do I need to spend more time with my husband outside of just being a mom and being able to wear these other hats and being able to support myself? So there's this physical component that's really important, making sure we eating, we sleeping, we exercising, we moving our body. And there's an emotional and spiritual component too. And that's just making sure that we're connected to whatever our higher power is. For me,
right,
that's God, right? For you, that's whatever that looks like. And when I say you, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to whoever's listening. Uh,
right.
Tapping into that as well as that emotional piece where I mentioned earlier.
Gotcha, gotcha. I love that. I hope y'all paying attention because, guys, what she said is so true. When you become a provider, our whole goal is just providing.
Hmm.
And so we do forget to
Yeah.
stop, to eat, to drink, to take care of ourselves, and we do feel guilty.
Hmm.
We feel guilty
Yeah.
to steal time away.
Mhm.
Would be I have a son who has sickle cell disease,
Yeah.
so when he's in the hospital and when I'm there, I don't want to leave out the room. I don't want to go take a long
Mhm.
shower. I don't want to be gone. I used to didn't want to do these things, you know, and so I totally get what you're saying. I know it's a lot of other parents that feel the same way, you know,
Yeah.
so I get it.
Definitely. Definitely. And I think what we miss in that, because we're doing it with the capacity of we want to be there for our person, our loved one, our child, but we've missed the fact that we can't 100% be there for them if we are not taking care of ourselves well either. And it would suck, like for the example you gave, for you to be laid up sick while your son needs you, right? And so for me, that was what happened for me. My daughter needed me and I was sick. Like, how could I help her? Because I was sick
Right,
myself. And
right,
the thing that happened for me was I had to decide, like, if I don't take care of me, how can I help her or anybody else? So I got to take care of me. And sometimes it looks selfish, but I'm teaching this to my family, my kids, so that they understand that even when it looks selfish, you're still helping other people by helping yourself, and you can teach other people this. So my daughter has her own child now, and my intention is to help my daughter understand that if you put yourself first, right, you will teach my grandbaby that it's okay for her to put herself first, and we can change this thing generationally where we're feeling like, as the women, we supposed to put everybody's needs before ours. No, we ain't doing that over here. So I tell people when I don't
Oh,
got, even my kids, I'd be like, not today. I love you, but mama ain't about to sit down and listen to nothing that you got to say right now. So, but I do come back. I do give them
right,
that
right, right.
have it, right? But it's important to just be genuine and honor your space and what you need and check in with yourself. And there are ways you can do that. Like one way that I do it that's pretty simple, and I hear a lot of people tell me I don't have time. When you
Mhm.
get up in the morning, the first 15 minutes before you get your butt out of that bed, dedicate them 15 minutes to yourself. And when you go to bed at night, the last 15 minutes before you close your eyes, dedicate those minutes to yourself. And at least in that day, you've given yourself 30 minutes. So
I
you
like that.
started somewhere. And every single day, you're giving yourself 30 minutes. And eventually, you will carve out other spaces in your life to give yourself time. But to start off with, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. Give yourself that time.
And I don't know if you heard her, but she said, give yourself that time. And then she said, carve out that time. And
Yes.
so be intentional. I don't know why the word
Yes.
won't come out right. You know,
Yeah.
just be intentional with your time. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you sit and say, you know what, at 10, I'm doing this, at 11, I'm doing this,
Yep.
it's more real
Mm-hmm.
than, you know what, I think I'm gonna take 30 minutes out my day today to do some self-care. But
You
when
ain't
you
gonna do
don't,
it.
you're not, when you don't
Yeah.
really put a time on it, that
Yeah.
30 minutes goes until like 9 o'clock, and now we're at
Mm-hmm.
10 o'clock, and now the
Yep.
day has went and it's
Mm-hmm.
gone. But
It does.
when you put a time on it, when I put
Mm-hmm.
a time, hey, 10 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm
Yep.
doing.
Yeah.
And so
And
I love what you said. She put a time on it in the morning,
yes.
15 minutes at night. That's my time.
Yes.
Make it intentional. And I promise
Mhm.
y'all, I call myself the strategy coach, the time
Mhm.
management coach. Because if I ain't gonna do nothing else, I'll make you put a time on that thing. Okay?
Mhm.
Because time gonna
Yes.
make it happen.
It will.
Um,
It will. Yeah, and you got to schedule it like you scheduling them hair appointments, them nail appointments, them things that you don't want to miss. Your self-care time needs to be time you don't miss. To me, I look at self-care just as important as going to any doctor's appointment. I need this time for myself, and it's not going to get taken away unless there's an emergency. But for the most part, I don't allow anything to interrupt that time. That's my time for me every single day.
you know what me and my husband do?
Hmm.
Me and my husband, we have date night on Fridays.
I
We have
love it.
actual date night. Like we
Hmm.
actually like your phone, no phone date
Hmm.
night. And we
Okay.
actually go get in a vehicle and we go somewhere away from the home with no
Mhm.
kids, and we
Yes.
go do something, even if our schedule don't permit, which
Yeah.
means he writes music or I have something going on. If we didn't meet our goal for that week, we still know that we're a priority too. So
Yes.
I know that you didn't meet your priority. So let's take 3 hours for our date night, and then you can go finish your priority after our date.
Yeah.
Or I go do
Yeah.
my priority. But let's make our 3 hours count, you know? And so
Yes.
it's so important because we've been married for what he had, I think I think 13 years, I think.
Okay.
But we've been married for so long, and so it's so
Mhm.
easy to take each other
Yeah.
for granted.
It
You
is.
know,
It
oh, he's
is.
gonna be here. But like
Mhm.
one of my girlfriends lost her husband last year.
Yeah.
Another girlfriend lost her husband last this year. And
Yeah.
so I don't want to wake up one day and wish
Mhm.
that I would have given him that time,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so from your point of view, my question, I had a question for you like that. It's like,
Mhm.
how do people balance a healthy relationship with their spouses and their children uh when they have needs? Wait, what did I write? Girl, this bad writing.
You
Okay,
good.
say, how do you balance healthy relationships with others like your spouse and other children when your loved one needs your help?
Yeah. So, and you kind of just said it, like you have to be intentional with it, and time management, scheduling that time in with those people that are important to you. I tell people, I tell everyone that I don't want to hear there's not enough time, because you make time for the things you want, right? And the things that are important to you, you make time for it. And so scheduling it, I love it when you said that we don't have our phones, because y'all are present with each other. And a lot of times when I work with couples, I hear them say, "Oh, we have date night," but then they looking at a TV, not really talking to each other, or they're on their phones while they're out eating dinner, not really communicating with each other. And so you have to be present and intentional in those moments with all your loved ones. So if I'm sitting with my 2-year-old and I'm giving him my attention and time, we watching Blue's Clues together. I'm talking about what Blue is doing with him. I'm pointing to things, and I'm focused and I'm present with him and Blue, right?
Right.
And I'm with my husband and I'm focusing my energy on him. He gets that time and attention. So my response to that question would be intentional with your time, make it a priority, and ensure that when you are connected to people, you are present with them in these moments. Because, like you said, tomorrow's not promised. And
It's
that
so
person you love and care about might not make it. They might not wake up in the morning. And you want to look back and say, I was intentional with the time I had with them.
that's good. That's good. So I hope y'all getting these nuggets because she's dropping some good nuggets over here. Okay, as you have shifted into working with couples, how have your behavior, your personal experience changed the way you support couples?
Okay. So there has been a significant shift. I started off working with saucy teenagers, and that was
Right, because you went
my jam.
from school to
Yes, yes, and I still love me a saucy teenager, but to be honest, some of the parents of saucy teenagers are the problem, and they don't want to hear that. And so I don't lose my cool or my license. I decided that I should focus on some people that I can connect with in a different way, right? But I
okay.
still love me a saucy teenager, and I've done work with couples, and I've been successful in helping couples. I love premarital work. So when these couples come to me and they fresh eyed and bushy tailed and ooh, we so in love,
I
I be like,
love it.
cool. I'm glad y'all in love. So let's talk about what y'all gonna do if a parent gets sick. Let's talk about how we gonna manage money. What is retirement gonna look like? What are some of these gender roles? So is your husband supposed to take out the trash every day? And if that's important to you, you need to tell him so he knows that he gonna be taking out the trash every day, right? So we talk about the values, the belief systems, the things that come up in a marriage to help them move into the marriage and it be able to sustain by understanding each other, and the expectations that we put on these titles of husband and wife and what that means for a marriage. So I love doing premarital work and helping couples. And I also enjoy helping couples who are struggling with infidelity and helping them see how they got to this space and how they can create a new normal for their relationship, and that it's possible to heal and move forward. It just takes a lot of work from two people and not just one, right? So I love doing work with couples. I truly believe that by supporting a couple, I change the fabric of a family, one couple
Right.
at a time, one
I
couple
love
at a time.
it.
So I love it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope y'all got them teas. She's about
Mhm.
so before she dropped her website, she's
Mhm.
giving away something. So
Yes.
first, I want you to tell us what the giveaway is.
Okay.
Then I want
So,
you to tell them how they win the giveaway,
okay.
and then we'll do the nuggets after that. So
Okay.
first tell them what they're gonna get.
So I'm big on self-care and wellness. And so I got us a wellness package, right? And in this wellness package, you're gonna get all kinds of goodies. So all the smell goods, the candles, you're gonna also get some things to help you journal. And then I have my book in there and some more goodies. So like you can't go wrong with a little bit of chocolate. So I got
I
some
love
of that
chocolate.
fancy chocolate, right? Because I love me some chocolate, right? And so the things that help us, the focus of the wellness package is really to consider the senses and the things that you can do
Mm,
to just really press pause, find peace. and relax,
Mm.
re-energize. And so this box will have those things. It's over $100 worth of stuff in it, and one lucky person can win it if they go to my Facebook page or my Instagram, because we got both, right? And you need to like the page, comment. There's a picture there that says giveaway, so you comment,
Mm.
tag 3 people. That's simple. Takes maybe 5 minutes, if 5 minutes to do. If you're not tech savvy, you probably don't need them whole 5 minutes. But if you like my daughter, you just boom, boom, boom. She 30 seconds later, she like, Mom, I'm done, right? So you might be somewhere in between, but it don't take that much time. And I'm going to pick someone the last day of this month, which is typically Halloween. I think the 31st of October. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a name from there, and I will get contact you and mail this box out to you, and it will be yours to have. So please go to LIT Therapy LLC. You will see it on Facebook. You'll also see it on Instagram, and you'll see the post. It's at the pinned post at the top. Click on it, and you can access that giveaway.
And we will announce the winner the winner on our page in November.
Yes,
They
perfect.
said yes to the wellness. Awesome job, Danielle.
Okay.
It's Cherie Smith, but I'm pretty sure I didn't say it right, so I be
Oh,
tearing up people's name.
okay. Hey.
So look, I would tear up a person's name quick, okay?
Yeah. You
And
try. You and
I
I
I
think
be
you
trying,
talk.
and I
Yeah.
bet you it's CHERRA.
Okay.
So it's probably so.
Sheree.
Thank
Maybe
you,
that's
baby.
Sheree. Mm-hmm.
Sheree.
All
Hey, Sheree. Hey, Sheree, like, I'm getting off now. You can't even say my name right. I'm done. Okay. So go to so if y'all know, if anybody's watching who know her links, can y'all drop her links in the comments, please? Would appreciate it. But if not, she's gonna come back later and drop her links for y'all to make
I
it
definitely will.
easy.
Yeah, I definitely.
And what else? So now y'all know what y'all can win and you know how to win it. So y'all better wrench on over there. And heck, she gave y'all a long time to win, child. So you have a long time to go over there. What else? So give us some nuggets. What you sending us out of here with? Give us some nuggets. Give us some tea.
Okay. So I'm going to reflect on some of the things I said in the
Okay.
nuggets. I think it's really important that we highlight the things, the actionable steps. And I tell my clients and my couples, this is great. I love it when it feels good, but I want you to go home and actually do some stuff, right? And
Okay.
so these nuggets include 15 minutes for yourself in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. Give
Mm-hmm.
yourself that time. During those 15 minutes, it can look however you want it to look. So for me, sometimes it looks like yoga. Sometimes it looks like meditation. Sometimes it looks like me singing a Beyonce song real loud and my son looking at me like I'm crazy, right? So it can look like whatever it needs to look like for you because it's your 15 minutes. But give yourself those 15 minutes in the morning and in the evening. My second thing will be to be present and intentional with your time. So
Mm.
those people who you love and adore, when you're spending time with them, you need to be present and intentional in those moments because they're precious gifts from God. So don't miss out on those moments. And my last thing that I didn't really speak to, but I think is really important to share is before we are speaking to be understood, we need to speak to understand someone. And so we want to
Ooh,
listen and hear what the person is saying to us without the intention of responding so that they can understand your point. So that's
that's
the
good.
best way to connect with a person. When you're in a conversation with someone, don't worry about trying to prove your point. Hear them, listen to what they're saying, and try to first understand from their perspective before you move into trying to explain yourself. Because a lot of time miscommunication comes from really just not listening to another person's perspective on a thing. And their perspective matters because it's their reality. And that's one thing that has helped me grow my relationship with my daughter, my husband, and my other kids. Listening to their perspective and understanding that even though they see it differently, whatever they say is their reality and it's true for them. So respecting that and understanding where they're coming from. So those are my 3 nuggets, actionable things that you can take home and work on right now tonight. So tonight before you go to bed, give yourself them 15 minutes.
That was so good. But you know what? We didn't ask her. I didn't. You know what? The question I didn't leave. I left off of there. Do you have anything that's coming up that you would like to tell us about?
Yes. So I have quite a few things coming up. There is a writing workshop that I'm working on, where I think it's all November. There's one in October. There's October the 28th. I think that's the Friday. I hope I'm telling you right. I'll post the link in the chat because I'm going off memory and
Yes,
y'all
please.
know
Okay.
I'm getting old and I'm trying to keep up.
No
But
worries. No worries. Just drop it in the
there's
link.
called Life and Lyrics Love Stories. And
Okay.
it's a writing workshop. It's virtual. It's really simple. You're going to come in and you're going to understand their key components of a story that you have from your journey that you need to work through, right? We all
Mm-hmm.
got like, and all love stories ain't happy endings. And sometimes we have love stories that are very short. The chapter is really short. And sometimes we have love stories that are really long, but we need to work through that experience. And you will work with me one on one to address what that story is, and we're gonna connect it to a song, right? So in a past life before I met my husband, who I am so godly grateful for this man, there were not so many great ones before him, right? And so I had my own love stories that I needed to process and work through. And so I'm going to share some of the expressive writing prompts and things that I've done, that other people can also do to help them express their love story. So that's a workshop that
Oh,
we're offering. And then we're doing a trivia night, which is also at the end of October. It might be that Saturday too. I'll post that. That's really just fun and light, and it's to help us decrease stress, to test your knowledge on 90s music, gospel music, hip hop music. So there are certain questions that we're going to ask in trivia. That's also virtual. And you get to come and connect and meet some other people who are like minded and see who
okay.
knows trivia. So I'm always doing giveaways in my workshops and my trainings. If you follow us on LIT Therapy, you can see all the different classes and workshops that we offer. Some of them are in person, a lot of them are virtual because we want to connect with people all around. So definitely follow us, check us out. We have lots of fun things happening for the rest of this year and moving into the next. So, yeah.
Sound like a plan. She is going to drop all that information in the link so you can have it. So,
Yeah, I
guys,
would.
I'm inspired. Okay, I'm ready to go. What's else next? Okay, that is great. And so that's it. You got anything else going on?
That's what we got. That's what we doing. And I just want to thank you so much for speaking with me and giving me the space and opportunity. Our time is the most precious thing. And so for you to dedicate this time with me, I'm really grateful. It's a pleasure to connect with you, and I'm going to stay connected. So, you'll see some more of me.
Exactly, exactly. We would love to have you. First of all, we'd love to have you back on the show. That's number one. Two, everybody, make sure y'all share this, okay? Because I know she said some things that people can use. You
Yeah.
know, I like that she told y'all things, but then she gave you actions to do,
Yeah.
and that's so important. You know,
Uh-huh.
taking those minutes out, and so I definitely appreciate it. And thank you, because this was the person who was scheduled. Two people canceled. I think three people canceled, and it was the last minute. And I was like, ah. And so
Yeah.
thank you, because
That was
your
great.
schedule, because your schedule is so busy, like everybody else's. And so I'm so glad that you was able to fit us into your busy schedule. And so I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so thank you so much. And so, have you watched the show before?
I have. I kicked in for the psychotherapist that you had. I listened
Oh,
a little bit
so,
to the
so
domestic
you,
violence
so
one
you,
today. So the way my life works, I usually can't stay the whole time, but I can come back and listen to it on
so you
replay
already
too.
know what's gonna happen, right?
Okay, I'm
Can
ready.
you dance us out?
Sure. Uh,
She like,
uh, uh, uh,
she like, I knew it was coming. All
All
right,
right,
dance us on out.
here we go.
Look, it's gonna be off beat, but I'm gonna give you something.
Thank
Don't
you
worry
for
about it.
tuning in today. It would mean the world to me if you would leave a review, a rating, and subscribe to my show. Please share with your family and friends if you enjoyed the show. This show, Amazing the Blueprint, is for you. So send me a message with the topics you want us to discuss. Until next time, y'all stay safe.
Woo! Until next time, guys.